You can create ads like this using Claude and Nano Banana 2 in just a few minutes. Most people overcomplicate this, and there's a few things that you have to get right, but it's pretty simple if you have the right steps. So that's exactly what we're going to cover in this video. There's 3 steps. First is gathering reference images to match the style that you want, then using those to create a style guide. After the style guide, we'll come up with copy ideas for the ads, the full shoot plan, review it, and then sign off. Then we'll get to actually creating the images in Nano Banana 2 and making edits as needed. Then optionally, we'll talk about using Canva to get full control over text editing if you want. And my workflow here is to create a multi-shot shoot, the same way you might for a real brand shoot, so everything flows together. You can see here I was playing around a little bit, which is why some of my text and things look a bit different. We'll talk about how to get consistency throughout, including character consistency. And because I believe in making AI accessible to everyone, we are only using free tools, namely Claude, Nano Banana 2, and then optionally Canva. There's benefits to the paid tools, but you can do all of this completely for free. With that, let's jump over to the demo. Step 1 is we are going to gather reference images. These are images that you want your final ads to look like. And this is arguably the most important step. So the number 1 spot I would recommend to find reference images is Pinterest. If you've never used it, you can just create an account for free. And now from here, you're just going to search for the thing that you want to make the ads for. So I'm just going to say athletic brand aesthetic. And we're going to get a bunch of stuff like this. So I really like this. So like this one. I'll just go in, right click, save image as, and then you should just create a new folder to save these. And I've already got one because I was doing this. Then we're gonna go again. Okay, I really like this kind of darker aesthetic with the text like this. That's cool, yep, save image as. If you find an image that you really like, you can also just scroll down the side here and it will suggest more images that look just like this one. So if you like this, you could save that, and then grab a bunch more. I would recommend finding 5 to 10 reference images. You want to have a couple for each type of shot that you're gonna do. Another thing is finding reference brands. Now this is optional, you don't have to do it. I'm gonna do some with it and some without, but it's very helpful if you can. So like I know for the athletic drinks, one that I like is Cadence. So like this. So all you need is their URL, which you'll just paste into Claude. So now we have a bunch of images saved, and now it's time to create our brand DNA document. This is going to capture the aesthetic of all of the images that we have and then make sure that our brand follows that aesthetic. In order to do that, we are going to use this prompt, which I have custom built here, and also I'll link to this in the description, it's totally free. Basically, it's telling Claude that it's a senior brand strategist and creative director. It's going to analyze a set of reference images and then optionally reference brands and basically extract everything to understand the brand DNA. So you're going to give it reference images, optionally reference brands, product or category, like what you are trying to advertise. The 3 brands that I'm going to advertise for are going to be a fake drink company, a breathwork app for kids, and then a relationship app for couples who want to like grow their relationship and improve their relationship. And then intended use, this one you can be flexible with, but if you actually want to run these, say as meta ads, or if you want to use them on a website, let Claude know that. It'll help it tailor those images to that. Now the full prompts are going to come later. There's a second step after this. But for now, we want the brand DNA. Going to copy this. We're going to go over into Claude, just regular Claude, paste this, and then we're going to add our photos. So then I'll just go through and list out all of the stuff that it asks about. So reference photos attached, reference brands, use cadence.com, raw dog run club, the art of Mondays, and then Dean Athletic. I'm selling a new electrolyte drink. The name is going to be Water 2. The tagline is the next best thing since water. Now I'm being kind of goofy here just to play around with this, but that's the fake brand that I came up with is Water 2. And these will be meta ads, make them vertical 16:9. I would say the most important thing here with number 4 is just specifying the size that you want these images. If you are unsure, vertical 16:9 is always solid. That works across a bunch of different things, but it's up to you. Otherwise, it will usually make them depending on the reference images that you upload, like whatever aspect ratio the reference images are, that's what will make it. And then we're just gonna go with it. Cool, so it's pulled this all together and created this full brand DNA document. It's got even the colors that it decided to use. It's kind of using in the brand DNA document, which is pretty cool. So you can read through the whole thing. I won't cover it all here, but the important thing is now at the end, it'll say brand DNA complete, copy the image generation prompt modifier and keep it ready. When you're ready to build the campaign shoot, paste this full document into prompt 2. So now we are going to grab our second prompt. And again, this will be available to you guys as well. But what this is going to do is help us to create the actual shoot as well as copy for the ads. So this prompt is to create 5 unique images for the shoot. You can add a bunch more. You can just keep repeating this. I just wanted to keep it to 5. That seems like a good number. It's going to ask you a few things to fill in. So product offer, platform, shot direction, offer hook. If you have that, you can also leave it blank. And then anything off limits. I also tailored it to some of the best copywriters of all time, people like David Ogilvy, Claude Hopkins, Gary Halbert, Harry Dry. So it will use that sort of writing. Now you can read through the whole thing, but the main thing you need to know here is it's going to propose 5 shots. It'll explain each one, it'll give you copy options, but you need to actually approve that. To say, I like this one, I'm gonna run it, otherwise you can change it. So I'll copy paste that in. If anything is missing, it will ask you for what is missing. You just add that in here, and then it builds it out. So now here it gives us the shot proposal. So shot 1, the finish line. You know, a lean, athletic woman, head back, eyes closed, pouring water 2 after a run. She's on a concrete sidewalk, slightly flushed, completely in her element. We've got the pass, so someone passing a can from one to the other, the sky hero, the effort, and the splash. Now, I didn't really like their shot 3, so here I asked if they can swap that out to something more like this image that I really like, which is people grabbing a bunch of cans of water 2. Now it's confirmed all 5, and then it builds ad copy as well. So I asked it to give a few options, and you can choose which of these you like. To be honest, the copy options are not going to be the best. I think you should tweak them a little bit instead of take them straight from Claude, but I want to show you what's possible in the demo. So now we've got our 5 shots, and with that, we are gonna go into Gemini. You're just gonna hit new chat, create image, copy and paste your prompt in, and then add the reference images. Now here, I would only add the reference images that you want for this particular shot. You don't need to paste every single one in again. It's almost certain that different shots are gonna have different reference images that inspired that shot. For example, ones with people will be very different than pure product photography. And with that, we're just going to hit enter. Now I'll fast forward ahead with some of the images that I had done before. So this was the product shot, then it came out with something like this. So you can make your own opinion about that. I think it's pretty solid. I don't love it. I honestly don't think the can is, like, I just don't really like the logo that they came up with, but I could have designed that better. But if you crop that a little bit, zoom in on the can, I think that can look pretty nice. Another thing that you'll see a lot if you're doing this is when you upload a reference image, oftentimes the output will be very similar to the reference images. So this is where I wanted to copy this kind of can reach-in style shot, but with the Water 2 logo. And then what it actually came up with is basically the exact same image, it's just added text on top. So you can decide if you are okay with that. You definitely have to watch out for some copyright issues, but it kind of depends on how much you're modifying the image. This is also a great moment to talk about text in images. So Gemini can do text in images. Oftentimes it does it quite well, but here you can see it added what the typography should be. I don't like that, but also I don't even really like how this text looks at all. And this is where I decided I'm just going to add in the text myself using Canva. So I just asked it to remove the overlaid text from this image, keeping everything else the same, and then it gave me this, which I like. And so if you want to add text to images in Canva, just pull it in, add a text element, and then add it in there. Personally, I like this because it's a lot easier to make quick edits to the text, especially if you want to change the copy or things like that. You don't need to regenerate a whole image. You can just do all the edits in here. So now this is an image that I feel pretty happy with. It's not perfect, but I do like this style. But I want to show you just a couple other images that I came up with, so take a look at these. One thing that Nano Banana 2 is really good at doing is animated characters, and I really like this style. So if I'm continuing with my idea for a breathwork app for children, you can come up with something like this. Now you can see the gradient gets cut off a little bit here. I don't love the text, but I think it's pretty cool, but I really like this style. Except you'll notice the phone is wrong. But if there are little mistakes like this, you can just ask Gemini to fix them. So I just said, the phone is the wrong way, can we turn it around? Also the background isn't all that cohesive, and then it came up with this. The line's still there a little bit, but overall, that's pretty solid, and we could fix that later if we want. If you want to remove the watermark, there's a few ways to do it. The easiest way is when you're in Canva, just crop the image, so make it bigger so that you can't see it anymore. The other thing is you could use something like Photoshop can do that. Otherwise, there are different tools online where you can drop your image in and have it remove the watermark. Now, if you want character consistency as you are generating these images, Oftentimes that is where a paid tool makes sense. They have just a little bit more functionality to do that, but you can definitely still get it. The main thing is pasting in a reference image of the person that you want in the images, so the character that you want to keep consistent, and making sure with your prompting to indicate that this person has to stay the exact same. And then one last one to show, this is for the fake relationship app idea. It came from running that exact same workflow, pasted that in, and now we've got this couple in this cool looking old like castle building thing. Got the text. I called the app Yearn, that's why it has that. But I feel like this is just missing, like it feels kind of empty without any other people there. So I asked if we can add more people in the background. And now it's got these blurred out people in the background, which I think looks really nice. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll try to respond to all of those. And you can access the exact prompts that I use, those prompting guides. They're linked down below for free.